Everybody, this is Justin with the Three Geeks Podcast. I have Marni Spencer-Devlin with me. Hi, Marni. How are you?
I am great. How about yourself, Justin?
Doing well, doing well. Can you tell the folks a little bit about yourself? I was just a quick Google tells me you do a little bit of everything. I feel like you have like a smorgasbord of things that you're doing. Yeah,
I do have a smorgasbord of what I'm doing. I've been around the block once or twice. The thing that I am doing right now is I recently wrote a book called The List Method, the science-based way of finding the love of your life. I got to that because I was coaching executive women and found that what we talked about most of the time was less their careers, and they were already great at that. They knew how to shine. What we talked about is when they go home and there's nobody there, or it's not a good relationship, and it's just, and having found my own love of my life and realizing, really to my surprise, as it was going, how it changed me, how I just got more competent and more confident and more of everything. So I'm really able to live my best life. And I thought, good Lord, everybody should be able to have that kind of a thing. I really think I came to the conclusion that a successful life should contain a successful relationship. And that's what I mean by that. Really, truly finding your perfect match and having somebody who adores you and just worships the ground you walk on, and just having that kind of a relationship versus what you find out there most of the time.
Are you against the apps and stuff like that? Are you kind of online dating, or no? Are you pretty pro?
No. Actually, I found my love on Match.com.
Oh, cool. Yeah, sweet.
But before you go there, there's a little bit of work that needs to be done.
Sure.
You can't just willy-nilly go out there. I always say it's the way we're doing it right now is you go and you pick from the existing inventory. You go on Match, you go to any of those dating sites, or for that matter, you go out to meet somebody, you go to a bar, you go to a social event. There's the existing inventory. And then you go and you pick from that. And then you try to adjust your needs to try and make it work. And heck, you're lonely. So you try and, do whatever you can. You get into a relationship. And then 50% of all marriages end up in divorce. And we're really genuinely surprised because relationships start on such a truly shaky basis. As you meet someone, eyes meet across the crowded room. And then you just hope that all the myriad things that make us all individuals just sort of happen to fall into place. And if they don't, well, then we'll just kind of make it work. Well, you can only make it work for so long before it becomes work. And, people always say, oh, a good relationship takes work. But it only takes work if you're not with your perfect match. Because it shouldn't be work. It should be awesome. And that's what I'm trying to help people find.
That's awesome. And your tagline with the science-based way, like what kind of research did you do? Like, did you do a lot of different, I'm assuming a bunch of research and different studies and things like that, but like, can you kind of delve into that?
Yes, primarily neuroscience. Why do we do the things we do? Why do we keep falling for the same people? Why do we keep meeting the same weirdos? Why do we act the way we do? So the list method is aiming to hack the way people find love by learning about the inner workings of the mind, so you can remove those internal barriers to a successful relationship.
Sure.
And then the way to do it is to come up with a very descriptive list of the one person that's your perfect match. What the list method is not trying to do is to narrow, again, the existing gene pool, the existing inventory, and try and make it work a little bit better. We're trying to come up with the one person that's your perfect match.
Sure.
And you do know who that is. People tend to not go for it and not ask for what they're really looking for, because they think there's this ubiquitous falsehood out there that we all have. And there's a reason why we have it. And the thing is, if I get too specific, if I get too picky, I'm never going to find what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
When in every other area of life, you know that the more specific, the more clear-headed, the more focused you are, the more successful you're going to be. I mean, people know exactly what the next car is that they're going to buy. They are totally up on that. Hybrid, this electric, SUV, whatever. We know exactly what we want. But when it comes to finding someone, the most important relationship of our lives, somebody that we're going to spend most of our time here on earth with, plus, I mean, most of everything we own. It's a serious.
Yeah.
And that relationship we leave up completely up to luck. Just a chance. You meet somebody and we'll give it a try. And you're basically signing over your bank account. I just don't think that that's a good way of going about it.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. What was in your research, what was probably the most surprising thing to you? Like in terms of like, what did you uncover a specific thing that you're like, oh, wow, I never looked at it like that or never thought of it like that. And really the science kind of uncovered it?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there were so many ahas in it for me. It was just shocking. The biggest one, realizing that why do we keep meeting the same people over and over again? Why is that? And it is because human beings are really only able to see the world through the framework of our beliefs. Whatever you believe that's what shows up for you. Sure. And there's actually a scientific reason for that, I found. There's a little center inside our brain called the reticular activating system, very scientific name. Yeah. And it's a little tiny thing. And what it actually does is super, super important. What it does is it filters the information that comes at us on a daily basis. There's billions of bits of information that comes at us all the time. And if we were aware of all of it, we would be inundated. We wouldn't be able to make sense of any of it. Sure. So what the reticular activating system does is it filters out the extraneous and only lets through what we need to make nice sense of our world. So our world is nice and orderly. And the parameters that it uses to decide what's extraneous is the belief system. So whatever you believe to be true, your reticular activating system lets right through. That's just the way it is. That's just the way I see it. If it's something that you believe is a lie, you still see it, but it gets treated accordingly. You know, it's like, oh yeah, look at the way they do. That's already your belief system working. And then the vast majority of information just gets blocked out altogether. And then we wonder why we sometimes make decisions where you're like, why on God's earth did I do that? And we don't know why we're doing it. And especially in the dating world, we don't know why we're doing it. It's because we're making decisions based on this blocked out stuff. So we don't even have that at all. So the reticular activating system does a super important job, but it also ensures that we basically are a self-fulfilling prophecies of our experiences and of our beliefs. We keep meeting over and over again. So if you think that everybody's crazy, everybody lies, everybody cheats, I did a little survey among my readers, and 3/4 of the women that had responded to it was pretty big. They had all been cheated on. They all said, "Oh, everybody cheats." Yeah. And it never been my experience, and I was shocked to see that. But for them, every guy they get into is cheats. Oh, and the next guy cheats too. So they all cheat. But it's because it's their reticular activating system highlighting for them who they already believe is out there. Nothing but cheaters.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We keep reading our beliefs over and over again.
Man, I feel like that's kind of broader than even relationships. I feel like you could probably apply that to like weight loss and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Weight loss. I mean, that's a huge thing. I mean, look, it's $1 billion industry. Everybody's trying to lose weight, and they're all trying to exercise, and they're trying to eat less. And we've seen the shows, The Biggest Loser, all those people, they work so hard trying to get rid of all that fat. And what happens 2-3 years, sometimes later, every last one of them that was on those shows is back to being fat. That's because the way we look, our body really doesn't have that much to do with what you eat and how you exercise. The body is, it's sort of your mindset. Your body has certain set points that it maintains you within. And it's a very sophisticated machine. Think about if you get a little warm, you get a little hot. Immediately your body does this sophisticated thing that we sort of find annoying. It excretes liquid and makes you sweat so your body cools down. We find it annoying, but if you think about it, if that didn't happen, you die. So the body maintains us very, very, in a very sophisticated way. So if you go and say, okay, I want to lose weight, and you suddenly stop eating or you eat less, your body doesn't know you're trying to eat, you just eat less and drop a couple of pounds. To your body, it is like, oh my God, we're starving to death. This is it. And so your body throws in everything it can to keep you surviving. So even if you try and stay away from the food, first of all, the moment, I don't know if you've ever gone on a diet, but if you go on a diet, you'll notice the moment you decide you're going to go on a diet, food looks really good.
Really good, yeah.
It looks, and food, you might have not even, maybe you don't even eat donuts anymore, but suddenly, man, donuts look really good. That's your body trying to get you back to your maintained weight. Because whatever you are right now, that's what your body thinks you should be. Body doesn't say, oh, this guy's overweight. No, whatever you are, if it's 300 pounds, if it's 500 pounds, that is your set point. So that's where the body wants to keep you. So if you're trying to reduce to the body, it means you're dying. Yeah. And so it'll bring you back again. So the way to actually go about losing weight is to start in the mind. You have to change your set point. You have to change the way you see yourself first before you go on a diet, before you start that exercise program. And then there's going to be some teeth behind it, and you can succeed.
That's awesome. So where can folks find the book? It's new out, right? It's recently out.
It is recently out. Absolutely. The quickest way to find it is actually just go to the list method, listmethod.com. And there's a link. It's available on Amazon, but the link to Amazon is right on there. And it's just the quickest way to find it.
Sure.
And I also wanted to mention there's a page on the website. It's called the listmethod.com/workbook.
Okay.
And the way to find that list, that love of your life, the way to go about finding the person that you are looking for, you have to ask yourself a series of questions and really ask yourself, what is it that you really need and what you want? What does your perfect life look like? And from those questions, you sort of come up with the idea, well, what would my perfect partner look like under those circumstances? So you come up with that list of that one person. And the list to ask yourself all those questions are contained in a free workbook that you can find on the listmethod.com/workbook. And you'll find all the questions to ask yourself so that you too can find true love.
That's awesome. We'll include that in the description of the video, so make it easier for folks to find that. That's awesome.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, because I really want people to just find that. I know everybody has their perfect match out there, and I want people to be able to find it and have that incredible love, and to be able to live their best life.
Yeah. So I want to use this as a segue to like the folks that have kind of already kind of testimonials. I was digging through your website. You have testimonials already out there. I mean, that's great, right? It has to feel good when you're helping people find love.
Oh man, yes.
That's super fun, right?
I was at an event the other day, and the first person actually not only brought her husband, whom she's crazy in love with, she even showed off her baby bump.
Oh, that's great.
Not only do we have that was my first one. Not only it was a perfect love, perfect match, but even a baby is on the way. And others too. People are shocked if they do the work. And that's the thing, is you have to do the work. You can't just willy-nilly sit there and say, oh, okay, I'll just come up with a list. The likes walks on the beach is nice to me. No, it has to be specific. You have to describe the one person. So you really have to do the work. If you don't do the work, it's like getting a prescription for pain pills and then going to the pharmacy and coming back with it and never taking a single one and going, this stuff doesn't work. I'm still in pain. You have to do the work. And if you do that, it is shocking how quickly you will find that person. Because what happens as you're making your list, your mind also changes with it, and that reticular activating system starts including new beliefs into your life. So you start meeting new people that come closer and closer and closer to that person that you are looking for. And it is shocking that the clearer your list is, how fast it really happens. For myself, it was 2 days. I had done the work. I had some hangups. I had some barriers in it, and that was taken care of. And I still remember that was on a Tuesday, and on Thursday, Match.com matched me up with the love of my life, and that was many years ago now. And I tell you, every day gets better.
That's awesome.
And I want that for everybody. I want that for everybody.
I have to imagine. Yeah, go. Sorry. I have to imagine that list though would help even filling out like do your list and then probably go to any of those websites that are dating and like use that as your search criteria, right? Like I'm sure there's ways to filter and like I link it all together so you're only getting people that meet 95% or 90% of your list, right? Then you need to filter out the next 10% of it. Right?
100%. We're looking for the one. We're not looking for narrowing the gene pool. We're looking for the one.
Yeah.
And you would be shocked that if you have that exact list and you can not only describe that list has to be so exact that if you told me to go to the airport, you give me their flight they're coming in on, you're giving me the airline, and you're giving me your list, I will have to find them. It's up there she is.
Yeah.
The list has to be that exact. And yes, you come up with that list and then you go on the dating sites. Then you know what you're looking for. Of course, you have to expose yourself to people then. The dating sites are necessary. And I prefer it to going out and meeting weirdos because it's just a lot easier. But so they're absolutely necessary. I mean, if you just sit in your living room and you have the most perfect list, you're never going to meet anybody. So you do have the dating sites are necessary, but you have to have your list before you go out there. Otherwise, you're going to see the same people that your pre-existing beliefs showed you before. And that's why you say, oh, they're all the same. They're all crazy. They're all this, they're all that. Whatever your beliefs were before will show up for you again. But with the changed neurons in your brain, you will start meeting a different sort of people. I actually started meeting different people on my way. And some of them are still dear friends to this day. They weren't the one, but they're still dear friends to this day. But when I had actually removed my own barriers and done that work, it was 2 days. And then my perfect partner appeared.
That's awesome. So for the book, how long did it take you to write it? Like, did you sit there? Was it a pandemic special, or was it something like you just said, "Hey, I'm stuck in the house. We got to write something"? Or
well, the pandemic certainly helped. Yeah, no, it took me about 3 years to do all the research and neuroscience and all that. There's a lot of stuff in there. It's like, why is it so hard to write a list? There's the survival instinct plays into it. And fear of emotional pain plays into it. There's so many reasons we do the strange things that we do that make us keep doing what we're doing over and over again. And all that research for that book took me about 3 years of writing it then.
That's incredible.
But yeah, the pandemic helped.
I bet. That's great. So I want to ask, I mean, I see you also, like, I'm kind of digging around your website. You have like speaking engagements and like that. How'd you get involved in that? And are you enjoying it? I mean, it's kind of pivoted from your book a little bit, but like, I assume they kind of go hand in hand.
When you write a book, you have to start speaking, of course. It's part of it. And this is not my first book. I have a couple other ones out. So I've been through that experience before. And I was an executive coach before, which also entails being a speaker. And so I've done a lot of that. And so that is in there as well. But it's always to try and get that message out to as many people as I can.
That's awesome. Is there any engagements or speaking things that you might want to promote here that people might be able to attend in the near future or coming up?
You're too kind. I have a whole full calendar full right now. I couldn't pull out any one of them. The one thing that comes to mind the most, and that's not even a speaking engagement, I'm actually going to be a celebrity judge on a beauty pageant. Amazon is launching a new beauty pageant, and it'll air sometime in early May. And I'm going to be one of the judges. So
how exciting is that? That's going to be great. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm hoping that there'll be lots of single people there that'll all be interested in the list so that they're not out there tapping around and dating. Why? Life is so short. Yeah. I want people to meet the love of their life immediately, because then really that's when life gets good. That's when it gets fun. And so, why be out there and tap around and make bad experiences first when you don't have to?
Yeah. I have to assume, like what you said before, it kind of removes all the stress of like a certain aspect of your life, right? Having that one person, like this is it. Like, I don't have to worry about going out to a stupid bar or do something silly. Like, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You know, when you have someone that cheers you on, that's in you, and if you're with your perfect match, they think you're perfect because you're
Yeah.
perfect for them as they're perfect for you. And so that to them, they look at you and they worship the ground you walk on, and you can see it in their eyes, and you're adored and you're supported. Yeah, you can do it. You do this, do that. Oh my God, you're brilliant. When you keep hearing that, when you have someone in your corner like that cheers you on, you better believe you show up differently in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
It's just a whole nother ball game. All of a sudden, you're just a lot more able to go out there because that inner critic sort of recedes when you have somebody going, no, you're great. Do it. I believe in you. And that's why it really, your life shows up completely differently then. You're really able to live your best life when you have a successful relationship.
That's awesome. I can't think of a better note to kind of end this conversation. Is there anything else you want to promote or talk about with the folks?
No, Justin, you're too kind. Thank you so much for having me on your great show. I really, really appreciate it. I hope lots of people hear it and lots of people will go out and try it and again, do the work and find the love of their life. It could just be days
Awesome.
when everything can change for them.
For sure. Thank you very much, Marni, and thanks everyone for listening. See everybody.
Thank you so much.